Lesson 2, just kind of reviewing the concepts that we've done before. So in this lesson, you're going to be calculating hourly earnings, calculating overtime earnings, and calculating commission earnings and percent of a number. So hourly rates and overtime. An hourly rate is when an employee is paid a fixed income per hour regardless of the amount of work done or assigned. So this is like jobs at Sky Zone, for example, or somewhere at a restaurant where you get paid per hour. Overtime is given to hourly rate workers that work beyond the regular or daily, weekly given hours. So if you work at a grocery store on a day like the civic holiday in August, you get paid overtime for that. So here's an example. Lee earns $7.27 per hour and works 27 hours per week. What are Lee's regular earnings each week? So in order to find this answer, you would multiply the hourly rate of 727. Here there's a typo. It says 725. Should say 727. They should actually be the same number. And then you would multiply it by the number of hours worked, so 27 hours, and this would give you a total of $195.75 per week. Example 2 says Robin works 45 hours in 1 week. She is paid time and a half for her overtime hours. So we did a little bit of time and a half work before March break. Any hours she works beyond 40 hours are considered overtime hours. So a couple questions here. How much does Robin earn for her overtime hours if she is typically paid $10 per hour? So if she works 45 hours in 1 week, you take away that typical 40 hours, and she has 5 overtime hours. So in order to calculate overtime, you take the overtime hours, which is 5, multiply it by the regular rate, so she gets $10 an hour, and times it by time and 1/2. So this is her time, and this is half a time. So one full amount of time working times a half, which is 0.5. So she would make $75 based on this scenario. So part B, her earnings, you would take her regular earnings times her hourly rate. So this is just those regular 40 hours multiplied by $10 per hour. So her regular earnings are $400. The total earnings is a combination of the regular and overtime earnings. So we're going to add those two together. So 400 plus 75 gives a total of $475 for that pay period. So these are support questions, so you can go ahead and try these now if you want, just to make sure you understand. You don't have to do the support questions. The things that I'll be marking are the key questions. So you could pause it here, try these support questions, and then when you're done them, move on. So looking at commission is earnings that are based on a percentage of sales made. So what is 8% of $2,000? So remember what we talked about when working with percentages. We have to take the percent and divide it by 100 before we can use it in our equation. Some of you use the percent button on your calculator, and that's fine too. The solution for this problem takes that 8%, divides it by 100 to get 0.08 multiplied by $2,000, and 8% of $2,000 is $160. Example 2 is basically the same thing. So 3.25%, you're going to divide that by 100 to get 0.0325. Keep all the decimal places here when you're using percentages, otherwise it's going to change the actual amount you're going to get. Multiplying it by 225,000, this will give you a price or an earnings of $7,312.50. So some support questions here with percents and commissions that you guys can give a try if you want. But for this lesson, the key questions here are what's important. So there are 6 questions. Again, the marks per question are listed just at the end of the question. So if you guys want to work on those and hand them in when you're completed by messaging me through Edsby, send me a screenshot, or you can send me your work through email. Either way is good.